Hey everyone, this week I'm going through all the Nikon D500 settings for bird photography. So I feel like I haven't done a bird photography video for ages, so I wanted to come out today, and I've come to RSPB Bempton Cliffs near Bridlington, and I'm going to get some seabird photography. And I brought with me the Nikon D500, and we're going to be talking all about all the settings I'm using when I set this up for bird photography. So we're going to cover everything from metering to focusing, burst modes, back button focus, everything. I've got my best mate Rob, who's the guest videographer today.
Hello.
Hi Rob. And we're going to head that way, and I'll talk to you a little bit more when we get down there. Okay, so first things first, shooting mode. I choose to use aperture priority mode, so that means I just need to set my aperture and then the camera will work out the other settings itself. I don't use auto ISO though, so what I tend to do, set my aperture to its widest setting. With this lens, you really need it at its widest aperture at all times, just to gather enough light so that it will focus. And then I will keep an eye on the shutter speed and adjust my ISO accordingly. So if I need a faster shutter speed, I will tend to put my ISO up. And if I can afford to have a slower shutter speed, then I'll put my ISO down. The goal is to have the lowest ISO possible and the fastest shutter speed that will capture the subject that I'm photographing accurately. So if it's a fast moving bird in flight, I will want a faster shutter speed. If it's stationary, I can afford to have a slower shutter speed. Some people like to use manual mode for this and auto ISO, but it's not my preferred method because sometimes you tend to get blown out backgrounds with that, or even the bird itself can get blown out. So right now there's a Razer Bill, don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's just perched on a little rock sticking out the edge of the cliff down there. It's stationary, so I don't want too fast of a shutter speed. However, it could start flapping its wings or move around a little bit, so I don't want too slow a shutter speed either. Right now I've got about 1/2000th of a second, which is very fast actually, but I'm only at ISO 400. I could drop that further. I could go down to about ISO 200. That's giving me a shutter speed of 1/1000th of a second. When it comes to focusing, I'm always using AFC mode. That's continuous autofocus, so that means as I'm tracking a subject, the camera will be constantly checking for focus and adjusting accordingly. I am using back button focus, which means I'm not using the conventional method of half pressing the shutter button to focus. Instead, I have the AF on button on the back of the camera set to do the focusing. This means that I can use my thumb to do the focusing and my index finger to take the shot. And the benefit of that is that I don't have to, if I don't want to refocus, I can still press the shutter button without the camera refocusing. In terms of the focus area, with this camera, the D500, and the Sigma 150 to 600mm lens, I find the dynamic areas the best. So I'm using dynamic area 72 points. So that means I'll be using 72 points of focus, arranged in a square in the centre. You can move that around with your joystick as well. And you place that roughly over your subject, and then the camera will automatically find what it thinks is the best area of focus from within that area of 72 points. There are other modes, so the group settings where you're using a whole group of focus points as one large area, or you can use things like 3D tracking, which will automatically try and judge which area you want in focus and focus automatically for you. But I haven't found the best results with this lens and this camera, so I tend to use the dynamic area ones. A benefit of back button focus is that if you've got a stationary subject, you don't have to switch the camera into AFS. You just need to focus once, and then when you press the shutter button, it's not going to refocus. So you've got kind of AFC and AFS rolled into one. In terms of metering, I mostly tend to use matrix metering, but if I'm shooting against a bright background such as the sky, sometimes I'll use spot metering. For bird photography, I always tend to use continuous low, continuous high burst modes. So you can find those on this dial here. And CL would be continuous low, CH continuous high. So that's going to take a succession of shots as quickly as it can process the images. And you want it as fast as possible for bird photography so that you can take a burst of shots and hopefully the majority of those will be in focus, but you are going to miss some. At CH, continuous high, that will take up to 10 shots a second with the D500. So hopefully that's good enough to get some shots in your burst. So right now I'm just getting a shot of a puffin down here on the edge of the cliff. And I've got a shutter speed right now of about 1/2000th of a second, which seems quite fast for a stationary subject. But you've also got to factor in focal length. If you're shooting at long focal lengths, you need to account for shutter speed. So you want at least double whatever your focal length is. And so I want at least 1/200th of a second to account for that camera shake. And also he might just fly off at any moment. So I want to make sure that my shutter speed is fast enough, should he fly off. So yeah, f6.3, that's as wide as I can go. ISO 800, it's giving me a shutter speed of 1/2000th of a second right now. So my white balance is always set to auto. I adjust that later in Lightroom because I'm shooting in RAW. You do get slightly faster burst rates if you're using JPEG. It doesn't have to process as much information. But to be honest, I don't find it too much of a problem shooting in RAW, and you just get so much more benefit from being able to edit a RAW file. It contains so much more data and you get a much better image out of it at the end. So there you go, that's how I set up the Nikon D500 for bird photography. It's a fantastic camera. It has been superseded now by the mirrorless Z9, but it's still the best DSLR you can get for bird and wildlife photography. So I hope you found this useful. If I could offer just one tip, I would say just maintain as fast a shutter speed as possible, because as you can see with my shots, I'm around 1/2000th of a second a lot of the time, but even that sometimes there's still a little bit of blur in the bird's wings. And I think that's okay. I don't mind that too much, as long as the bird is sharp. A little bit of motion in the wings just shows that movement. But if you really want to get all of the bird nice and sharp, you're going to have to really put that shutter speed up there, get your ISO nice and high, as wide an aperture as possible, and you want something like 1/3200th of a second or faster. So I hope you found this useful. This is how I set up the camera. If you've got a different technique and you want to share that down below, let us all know, and hopefully we can learn something from that. A big thanks to Rob, who was the videographer today. He did a fantastic job with that and we had a great day at Bempton. And I've just got a few more images to show you. I'll put those on screen now. And that's about it for this video, so big thanks as always for watching, I really do appreciate it. And all of the usual bump now, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed and you'd like to do so, you can click down here on the big red button or over here on my face, and that way you'll keep up to date with everything I'm doing each and every week. There's a new video every Sunday morning, 10 AM UK time. So I hope you'll catch me next week for the next one, and until then, thanks a lot everyone, and bye for now.